Hi, thank you so much for joining me today. And today is the 1st of March, which means it's the beginning of 30 Days of Sketches with Christie's Beautiful Life. It's a series where every day a different sketch is provided by people who are in the group, and we scrap along to that sketch. I'll leave a link in the description box below to the playlist where everybody adds their videos. So every day more and more videos are added that you can watch. So here is day one. You can see the sketch in the top left hand corner there, and it's by Ginger Bush. And she's been brilliant because she's given us measurements on the photos. So I decided to copy those measurements, and I'm using Simple Stories Here and There collection to document pictures of Grand Central in New York from our trip over the Christmas period. And I'm also pairing that with the new Wherever from 49er Market. So I cut the 3 photos of Grand Central into 3.5 by 5.5 size, then matted them on white cardstock, and you can see I'm just creating some mats on the right hand side there for those photos to sit on. So I've drawn a faint pencil line there, just so that I know where my mixed media is going to go on the left hand side. And in a way, I suppose I'm creating my own pattern paper here. I start with the white cardstock, but I wanted to use this stencil from All and Create. It's a fabulous stencil, and it's got these gorgeous triangle chevrons going across the top. So that's what I'm going to focus in on, and I'm using tea dye because that works really nicely with the colours in Here and There from Simple Stories. And I'm just using a small blending brush and blending through that stencil. I won't make you watch it all, but I do take this same part of the stencil right the way down the left hand side of the page, so you can see it just finishing off there. And then I'm going to move on to a different section on the stencil, which has got some little bubble type pieces, and I'm just going through that with weathered wood, I think it is, that I'm using to push through this. So again, just going in various areas of this background to create my own pattern paper. And you can see I've rotated the stencil there so that the bubbles aren't all moving in the same direction, just sort of moving the stencil around and adding different dimension. And a lot of this will get covered. If you've watched me before, you'll know that I do tend to add quite a lot to my pages. It's good to have a good base though to start with, and I really don't mind if I cover things up. So I'm just ruffling up the edges of both of those torn pieces of paper, and then I'm actually adding some water to the Distress Oxides just to activate those oxides a little bit, and also to get a bit of bleed from the paint. There won't be a huge amount because I didn't treat my paper with gesso or anything like that, but it does just water down the effect and also bleed some of that paint across the background. It's a really nice effect, you'll see. So I'm just leaving that water to sit there for a while, and then I shall come in with a brush and blend everything around a little bit. So just continuing to roll up those edges, and then here we am with the brush, just really giving it a good blend all over that page. And you can see some of the paint just starting to bleed there. So obviously I don't want to work on wet cardstock, so I'm just rubbing that down with a paper towel just to sop up the excess moisture there. And then sticking this mat down on the right hand side. So if you've watched my channel for a while, you know that 30 Days of Sketches is a series that I always join in on every day. Sadly, this series, I don't think that's going to be the case. I'll try my best. I've done the first couple of videos, but we've got a very, very busy March as a family, so I'm not putting that pressure on myself. We'll just see how it goes, and I might carry on those sketches into April, we'll see. So just pulling the tag that's cut from one of the Here and There papers there, and then the other travelogue tag is from the ephemera pack. And this journaling piece, you can see I had cut it in half previously, thinking I was going to use half of it on a layout and then didn't. So I'm just going to reattach those 2 pieces together, and you can't tell once it's all glued together that it's been cut in half. I'm absolutely fine with that, but I wanted to have a journaling spot. As I say, this is from our trip to New York in December. I'm going to create lots of layouts from this very special trip, so I do want to add my journaling of my thoughts of what we did that day and things, so it's very important for me to have a journaling spot on there. So just starting to glue the bits down now behind that journaling spot. I haven't actually glued the spot down yet because I want to be able to move it around the page to make sure I've got it in the right position. And you can see I've cut one of the rub-ons from the Wherever collection from 49 and Market there, which I'm going to add to the bottom because it's a steam train, and obviously Grand Central being a train station, I thought that worked really nice. So I'm pulling out these tile alphabets from the sticker book. They work perfectly to spell out Grand Central. So I'm just adding those to the right hand side, and the C from Central does have to overlap. So this is the point where I stick everything down, and then I'm going to work on that rub-on. So I've got that train rub-on there that I'm adding down, and then I've also, you can see in the left hand side, I'm just picking it up now, that foam title that says Travelogue, and I just think that works really nicely, so I'll be adding that as well. But just looking through the sticker book to see what else I can add at this point, and I find this sticker with the train on it, and it just says the journey starts now, enjoy every moment. And this was actually our first stop on that day of sightseeing, so I thought that worked quite nicely. So just positioning everything. That explore piece is from the mini laser cut pieces from the Wherever collection. So just adding that down underneath the title, and it overlaps really nicely on top of all those splatters from the watercolour train that was the rub-on. So just looking to see what else I can add in here. I feel like there aren't quite enough bits and pieces around the page, so just wanting to add a few more bits. Nothing so far, but then this page looks more promising. And I see this geo tag, and it's got a little heart in the middle, and I think that works really nicely there, just to finish off that little bit there. Going down a wooden arrow from JD3D Print. I love those arrows. And then my date in the bit that says date on that journaling spot. And now just finding a couple of word phrases. So one that says our trip at the bottom there. In fact, I think that's the only one I use this time. So now using some wax twine to thread through that tag, and then I shall just leave it to trail down the side of the page. It just fills in that blank space at the top really nicely. And then I've got my journaling on my journaling card. And then a few more bits to finish this lovely gingham heart. And that's the layout done. I really hope you've enjoyed this process, and I shall see you again very soon. Bye.